Welcome to day 3 of the course. Unfortunately, there is no Taco Cat shirt today or gold watch, but we are going to be talking with the best wedding photographers. And I know that title is completely subjective, and I just kind of did it to make it a searchable thing on the internet. These are my favorite wedding photographers, so sorry if I've tricked you and now I'm going to show you my favorites. But I really do believe them to be the best for my personality style, and hopefully if you connect with me, hopefully you'll also connect with all of these people as well. I'm going to kind of start from the very beginning, and the first person that kind of got me doing something different in wedding photography was a man named Jonas. He was originally from Australia. Now him and his wife Melissa live in Vegas, and they're actually the presidents or directors maybe of WPPI, which is a wedding photography portrait convention that happens every year in Las Vegas.
This is Nicolas Cage, and I am Taylor Jackson, and thank you so
And one of your dongs.
I'm dead, I died.
It has been really, really helpful for me specifically because I've been able to go to Las Vegas and meet a bunch of people that I know from like internet forums and Facebook groups and things like that, and grow a global network of photographers. So now when I'm in LA, I can message Mario and be like, hey man, we should do a shoot together, or go on the beach, and he can help arrange models and things like that to really help me out. And then I'll do a behind the scenes video for him to kind of like do a little bit of a trade. And to grow your global network is something that really elevates your status in your local area, because if you're doing a shoot out in an amazing place somewhere in the world, when you come back home, you're going to be treated a lot differently. And finding these people and making these relationships definitely helps that out a lot. Another quick thing, just kind of on that note as well, is that when I met a lot of these guys and girls, they were all kind of at the same spot that I was at in my photography. And also, tangent from the tangent, WPPI, I don't really go to any of the classes because they're all very heavily kind of sponsor driven, that you don't get paid to speak there, but people will be sponsored by a specific product, like an album company, and you'll go up and you'll do a speech on like why albums are the best. So it always feels a little disingenuous. What I find the huge benefit, and this goes even for local networking groups as well, when you're at WPPI, is just the social atmosphere of it. The fact that you can walk up to like your idols, like in the photography industry, like Jonas, and say like, hey man, like been a huge fan for a long time. And it's really cool to just have all of those people in one room. And the more years you go back, the more friends that you kind of have that you'll just kind of meet up, and it's this weird little island of wedding photographers in Las Vegas that it's a lot of fun to be there. And so when you meet these people and you're kind of at the same spot in your career, and you go home to wherever you live in the world, and they go home to like Santa Monica or wherever they happen to live, whenever you're watching their photography career grow, it is really motivating. Like if they get like Brian Leahy, a guy that I met there a bunch of years ago, who's been on the podcast, which is coming back, by the way. He actually won Best LA Photographer, Best Photographer in Los Angeles, which is really, really incredible. And when somebody that was at kind of the same level, like you guys were like working like just trying to like outdo each other week to week in a positive way, and they win Best Wedding Photographer in LA, like how much motivation does that have to get you up to that level again? And it works the same way, that you just kind of ping pong off of each other. And it's cool to find people that are hyper non-competitive, because there's no way that I'm going to be competing with Brian in LA. And you can actually talk and say like what marketing ideas are working, what strategies are successful for you, and what's successful for them out in a different part of the world. So by going to a convention, it is definitely helpful. So find the one that's right for you. I like Las Vegas, so that's why I started going to BPPI. It's a good community. It's been a little, it's getting back there. For a few years, it kind of dwindled a little bit, but I think hopefully this year, fingers crossed, it gets a little bit better. So anyways, back to the topic, the best wedding photographers. Jonas was the guy that really got me comfortable posing people, because as I talked about in the first video, very introverted, very kind of nervous to pose anyone or overstep my bounds and like be like, oh, can you just move your arm this way? And everything just felt weird. Like I felt really weird controlling people, and especially because I was a little bit younger, and most of my brides were maybe 5 to 6 years older than me at that time. And when you're like 21, 22, even 20 actually, it's like, it's a very strange thing, social dynamic to get over. So Jerry helped me do that because he is the polar, like whatever the most extreme extrovert is, while he's holding a camera. And then I think when he's at home, he's very introverted, which is a very funny dynamic. But when he has a camera in his hand, he is, he's willing to do anything, say anything to get a laugh. He'll control moments, like he'll set up emotional moments of like when the father of the bride is about to walk into the room to see his bride for the first time, or to see his daughter for the first time. He'll actually kind of come up with a few key things that'll put him in an emotional state to like experience that full emotion so that he's able to get even more amazing pictures. I've learned from that. I don't use that. That doesn't really connect with the way that I photograph weddings, but he does it with amazing results. So it's really cool to learn from people, even if you don't actually use their skills. I'm going to talk about this a little bit in a future video, but to create your own style, essentially, I think the easiest way is just pull bits and pieces from all the people you like. That if you like the way that Jerry just poses people and has like no reservations when he goes into a room and he's like, can you do this and you do this and you do this and this might be weird, but can you guys just like put your heads like this? And it just works out so well for him. And I learned that from him, that when you have a vision, to go and make that vision. So Jerry's been really great. Moving on over here, Jeff Askoff is not a guy that a lot of people I don't think anymore really even know about. So he's from the UK, somewhere in the UK. I've never met him. He just really inspired me in my early days when I first saw Jerry, and I came across Jeff, and he was making like black and white actions. You'll see that a lot of his stuff is black and white here, and he does really incredible black and white photography, and also very documentary, which is something that I was always passionate about doing, that I didn't really want to step in and pose things like Jerry. I understood that there was a time and place to go and do that, but Jeff seems to just like, he'll find the good light and just sit there and just wait, and he has patience, and he has an amazing eye, and just all of like his black and white shots just really inspired me to begin shooting black and white on my wedding days, and as well as being a little less worried about, I guess, the technical when it comes into moments. And if things are a little bit out of focus because it's a reflection, or a little bit out of focus, it's fine as long as the moment's there. Sometimes it kind of adds to the artistic nature of it. So very happy that I randomly found him on a forum way back in the day. So that's kind of my past as my favorite wedding photographers go. Moving forward, Sam Hurd. Sam was a guy that I mentioned a lot on this channel, actually. He photographed, Lindsay and I had 2 weddings. He photographed our first wedding. And the experience working with Sam was what I believe to be my ideal experience for my couples. And the fact that he showed up, he doesn't bring a lot of gear. He has, I think he has like the 24-1.4 on one arm, and he had like a 58 1.4 on the other, and that's it. And he just kind of goes around, and he doesn't really talk a whole lot. Like, he kind of suggests when we do things, or like says a joke here and there. But for the most part, he's just kind of in the background. You're aware of him. But every single frame he delivered, I think he delivered like 1,000 frames from our 4-hour wedding day here. And every single frame was absolutely fantastic. And like, it's like we don't even know how to pick because there's too many good photos. And the way that he actually just documented the day naturally, as well as doing a few photos that were like hyper artistic, was really cool. If you look through his portfolio, he's the guy that invented prisming, which is whenever you like hold a prism up to the bottom of your lens and you get like weird reflections. So he invented that, and he just has this weird creative energy that he'll just go out and just try different things until things work, and keep refining the process. If you have a chance to go to one of, that's a prism shot there. If you have a chance to go to one of his workshops, I 100% recommend it. His business sense alone will make you lots of money, and also save you money as well, for different reasons. And by like just seeing his behind the scenes process of him actually photographing a real couple, which they do, or which he does at pretty much every workshop, I think every workshop, is really incredible. So he's a great dude and a great photographer. And I actually was fortunate enough to go to a workshop with both him and Jeff Newsom, who previous to Sam, I think was my favorite wedding photographer in this new day and age. And Jeff is, I'm gonna say, the most, that he comes up with an idea for a shot and he can create that shot. A lot of this is, I guess, documentary in his portfolio here, but his kind of like the standout shots that I'm just absolutely blown away by are ones that he has totally come up with, and he's like, I want to do this shot, and he has the super specific vision, and he can create that super specific vision. He does things like this, and everything for the most part is in camera. So this is an in-camera photo, which is really crazy. He does also things like this, which is just like, I saw that and it just hurt my brain so much, and I'm like, that is just such a unique way to do a wedding day. He'll do, I'm not going to give away all his secrets, but he does stuff like this. This is the groom's eyes here. And everything is just like really, really crazy interesting. I'm going to see, there's one shot that I love that's like a pyramid out by his house, and he grabbed his son's lightsaber. So this photo right here, these are like toy lightsabers that he was just like whipping around. That's the only secret I'm going to give away. I think that one's pretty well known, but this is like a little amusement park out by his house and two of his friends. So very, very cool. Very, very just open to buying things off Amazon and seeing how he can make them work in his photography career. So if Jeff and Sam do a workshop together, I 100% recommend that you go and go find it. And even like I went to Charleston, South Carolina to go to this workshop because I knew that it was such an investment in my career as a photographer, as well as just a way to get re-inspired and also to meet people from kind of all around the world. Like Ryan Brenizer was there and a few other kind of like, it's just fun to go to a place, to live on this little island, kind of like WPPI, and then follow like all of these people and then go off into your own little sections of the world, but from a base that you want to be creative, that you want to create work similar to this. So Sam's girlfriend is named Nessa, and Nessa also does incredible work. Lots of tilt shift, lots of similar techniques to Sam as well. I think they kind of bounce ideas off of each other, but definitely somebody worth checking out, somebody worth following on Instagram, so that you're able to, I don't know, just continue to get good content into your life. I know that by following a lot of people on Instagram, you are seeing probably a lot of maybe things that are similar to you if you follow a lot of people in your local area, but it's important to follow and interact with the content that you want to see, because then Facebook and Instagram are going to be like, oh, you actually want to see this content? I'm going to put it in front of you. Jose Villa is another, I guess, Jose Villa has actually stood the test of time. So he was one of the first wedding photographers that I ever saw his work, and I was like, wow, how do you do that? And he does a lot of stuff on film. He has like a 645 contacts that he uses for a lot of things, and you can definitely kind of tell when you look at his galleries that he does shoot some on film and some on digital, and his entire galleries are so strong, and everything has this like this beautiful California vibe to it, and everything just looks good, looks warm in California. He is a person that has his style nailed down to like the most specific style that you can get, which means that whenever a bride comes in and this is her idea, or a groom comes in and this is their idea for a wedding day, that there is about 100% chance that he is going to get booked because he creates that style of work. Last one, Gabe Mclintock. I'm sure you're probably aware of Gabe. He does basically everything out in a mountain that looks amazing. He inspires me to go out to places that I would not typically go. My photography style is really based on efficiency and getting the photos done as fast as possible. Gabe is a lot more like almost therapeutic when it comes to this, that they will go for a long walk. They will do the day after shoot and they will climb a mountain or take a helicopter up the mountain to get these shots at the specific time of day that he wants. Everything that he shoots is like absolutely incredible, definitely worth the follow on all of your social networks. And do I dream of going out and creating photos like this every single day? No, but it does inspire me to create these photos whenever I am in a situation that I could create a photo like this, and to get crazy wide whenever you have like these insane landscapes, that I think is really important. And again, your style comes back to kind of taking pieces from all the photographers that you really connect with and that you really like. And I think Gabe is one of those that I really learn a lot by just absorbing his content on Instagram and on Facebook, because everything is absolutely beautiful that he creates. So those are my favorite photographers, the best photographers for me, the subjective nature of that. And I hope that you enjoyed today. Tomorrow, we're gonna be back for day 4.